Hey guys, welcome in. How are you?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, Mikey. How are you?
Good?
God is real.
Okay.
How are you doing this wonderful evening?
Doing okay? What do you have for us today?
No, what do you have for us today? Educate us.
Hallelujah.
All right. Well, nice to meet you. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. God ain't real. Go vegan. That is all.
Why should we go vegan?
Because we shouldn't harm animals if we don't have to.
Well, tough shit. We gotta harm animals somehow.
Is this how your morality operates? It is what it is.
No,
I
but
just
the
rape and
reality,
abuse people. It
this is
is
the
what it
thing. You're
is.
living in a dreamland. You're living in a dreamland, and we've got billions of people on here, and some of them are gonna slaughter animals for food.
Yeah,
So
I'm not
you're
so.
living in a
Hold
dreamland,
on,
bro.
listen for a second. I know you want to come up here and
Sorry, that cough was for
boast
you.
about. Hold on, I know you want to boast and
I
be arrogant, but
want
just
to
listen
cough
for
on
a
my
second, right?
face.
I'm not arguing as a vegan that tomorrow everybody must stop eating animals. What I'm saying is we should because we can. We can make steps towards minimizing animal cruelty. And I think most people say they love animals. So I think we should follow what we say instead of pretending as if we love animals and harm them on the side. I think we should align our actions with our words and not harm animals if we don't have to. So what justifies killing and harming animals to you?
Um, for food, it's just nice.
Right.
Like, obviously, if you own a dog, obviously you're not going to unalive it for food. But a pig is something that you should be eating. Like,
Why? Why do we get to slaughter and abuse and rape pigs, but we can't do that to dogs? Why?
because they're not intelligent. Because dogs are way smarter. They know how to sit. If you tell a dog that is well trained to sit, they'll sit. If you tell it to stop at a road, they'll stop at a road.
Pigs
You
can
know.
pigs can do that too. Pigs are smarter than dogs actually. Pigs have higher IQs, they have more ability.
Have you got a source? Have you got proof of that?
Yes, we have many social behavioral studies demonstrating pigs are smarter.
So, can you give me a website that
Yes, we
says
can.
this,
Sure, no problem.
or show it me on your phone? I swear you was disrespecting Christians yourself, but you changed. How come you
The Humane
changed?
Society
It
has a
seems
study. The Humane Society has a study on this. Here's another study called Social Behavior of Swine by Gary Landsberg, and it demonstrates that pigs are actually incredibly smart.
what's the website? Sorry.
It's called Social Behavior of Swine. Yeah, so you can look it up. There's many studies on this.
Does science approve of this?
Yes, there's many studies, scientific studies. Um,
But like, let's be realistic. They might be smarter, but there's different levels because some dogs are going to be smarter than other pigs. But
look. It doesn't matter how smart they are, right? And I guarantee you, you wouldn't kill a baby because they were dumber than you, right? Would you kill a baby because they're not as smart as you?
That's just that. No, humans are different to.
Okay, great. What you're conceding here is that it's not intelligence that matters. There's something different about us being human that makes us more special morally. So what is that trait that humans have that animals don't have?
Because we can socialize with each other. Like we can buy food, we can talk, we can do everything that animals can't do. Basically, we know how to build
We can
houses,
talk.
we know how to
Okay.
build
Can,
planes.
okay, hold on. Can babies talk? Can babies build planes?
I mean, you can teach them like as like building
No,
blocks, but
you can't teach a baby how to talk. They don't have the cognitive ability to
of
talk.
course you do. I would. You meant
No,
to
they're
teach them,
babies. The babies don't talk, right? They're babies.
but you can still
So
teach
they
them.
cry, they scream, just like animals. The point here is that there is no trait that humans have intrinsically that other animals don't have. You have not shown the more morally relevant difference between us. And that's why I don't harm animals, because I recognize there's no difference between us. In fact, the animals are way smarter than we give them credit for.
So you're saying pigs are smarter than people?
They're not just smart, they're also conscious and sentient. In the ways that matter to us morally, we are equal to them.
So can you teach a pig to sit like a baby pig to
Yeah.
sit
Yes.
and to do what a dog can do,
Yes.
basically?
Yes. Pigs are very smart. They can follow tricks. They can follow commands, things like that.
Right, I will let you have that one. I'm going to look into that website a bit more. But
Yeah.
I want to talk on the God topic because I'm I'm not gonna lie. I came up here a few months ago, maybe like 5 months ago, and I actually said that, can you pray for my grandma? And you literally just laughed in my face. And the last time I saw you, after that, you dressed up as a Muslim.
Let's get the next victim in here. Apparently, they don't understand satire. Hey, how are you?
Yummy, yummy burger.
Yeah, so do you have an actual intellectual argument, or are you just going to say yummy, yummy and run away? Yeah, that's what I thought. No argument. Next. Anybody could sit there. Imagine if I said, yummy, yummy, I like to eat humans. I like to eat and slaughter people. Yummy, yummy. You'd all cancel me tomorrow. But because you do it to an animal, you think it's okay. Why? Where's the disconnect? Why is there a disconnect there? It's because you haven't learned about the animals, right? Out of your ignorance, you're saying yummy, yummy. You don't understand my perspective. You don't understand the animals. You don't understand anything. That's why you sound ridiculous. You know, I'm not trying to be mean here, but that's just how you sound to me. Hey, how are you? Can you guys hear the guest? All right, so the next victim in here.
There's nothing that you can say that will make me go vegan, you fucking fat.
Okay, so you don't have any actual intellectual
Fuck
ability.
yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, so from your perspective, what makes you think we should slaughter and rape animals?
We know they do not do that shit in no fucking. They don't do that shit in slaughterhouses. They don't fucking rape animals. They don't do none of that.
You do. Did you know that we actually have to forcibly impregnate animals to breed them?
Well, that's a part of the fucking. That's part of the animal cycle, dumbass. That's
No,
part of
it's
the animal
not.
cycle.
No, we are literally sexually.
Well, do you know that to get y'all's fucking vegetables, y'all kill millions of fucking bees and all this shit? Fucking dumbass.
And how many
Plants have fucking
vegetables?
feelings too. Plants have
Okay.
feelings too, you idiot.
Okay, great. So go ahead and demonstrate that plants have feelings, and then demonstrate to us that most plants are grown for vegans, which they're not. Most are grown for animals that you slaughter. You're accusing
Okay,
me
and
of
fucking animals that eat fucking plants too. What the fuck you on about? And what the fuck does
exactly.
God have to do with going vegan?
So the point
I
here
will
is that
continue to eat meat. I don't give a fuck what you vegans have to fucking say. If it
okay,
triggers y'all, oh well. Boo hoo, womp
great.
womp.
I understand where you're
And all the
coming from.
people in the comments saying I'm angry, go fuck yourselves.
I
Fuck.
understand. I understand you're mad.
I'll
But
eat. I'm not mad. I'm tired of y'all fucking vegans trying to freaking instill y'all's dumbass ideology on us people that don't want to fucking hear it. We don't care.
so great. So why should we slaughter and rape animals to you? Why
We
should
don't
we?
slaughter and rape animals. Until I see a fucking video of it, then I'll fucking believe it. I might turn vegan. But until
Okay,
then,
great.
I haven't seen no fucking video.
So if I showed you a
Should animals
slaughterhouse,
be vegan? Should animals be vegan?
okay, great. No, because they don't have the ability to go to the store like we do. They don't have choices. We do have.
But you saying that they don't have feelings in motherfucker. So I'm gonna continue to kill animals and I'm gonna continue to eat them.
Okay, if I showed you a slaughterhouse
That-
video where
That's
animals
just
were being
I've seen
killed,
slaughterhouse videos, bruh. I know what the fuck they do in slaughterhouses.
okay, great. So you recognize that they are being slaughtered, right?
Roro, go fuck yourself, you fucking bitch. No one's forcing you to be vegan.
All right. He got removed by TikTok for his his anger. Hey, what do
I
you got?
disagree with being vegan.
Great. So why should we rape and slaughter animals?
We should rape and slaughter animals. Because it's good for protein, which your body needs. It's a way to help eat the ecosystem, because too many of one species is bad.
Okay. So no, we when it comes to protein, way more protein is being we can get from plants. We don't need to eat animals to get protein. And also when it comes to the environment is being destroyed way more for animal farming and way less for veganism, right? Vegans cause way less harm to the environment. We use less crops. We use less water. We use less greenhouse gas emissions. We're way better for the environment.
Womp womp, steak better.
All right. So how old are you?
I'm 17.
You can tell.
All right, hello.
Hey, how old are you?
Oh man, you gotta drop me in. I can't even hear nothing, man. Dang it.
Yo, hello. Can you
Hi.
hear?
Yes. Welcome in. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. What do you have for us today?
So, for me, I think God is imaginary is wrong. I think God is real, and I do believe that God is real, because I come from a Christian family. So let me just have a backstory. So basically, I'm from Romania, and Romania is like a really orthodox country. So we all believe in God and Jesus, and God is great, God is good.
Okay, great. So what is your argumentation for your God?
So because I don't think God isn't real. I don't think there should be like a Bible like over 1,000-2,000 pages written by
Okay.
God.
Okay, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 18.
Okay. And do you have an argument that demonstrates God's existence or not?
No, I don't. And by
Okay.
the
Have a good
vegan.
day. Hello? Yes.
Yo,
Welcome.
nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too. What do you have for us today?
Basically, if God isn't real, explain it. If gravity was 0.1% more powerful, all life would cease to exist. So how can it
No.
be so perfectly created? And you're telling me that's a coincidence? If coincidence
Well,
are real, I might
nothing,
as well go play the lottery
nothing's
tomorrow.
perfectly. Okay. Well, first of all, this assumes that gravity could be changed. What if gravity couldn't be changed? What if this is necessarily the way it has to be? But more importantly, if gravity was different, maybe we wouldn't be here, but there would be another existence, possibly another form of life or another form of existence that is not familiar to us today. So I don't see why adding God to the equation solves anything for you. And also, we can explain the fine tuning of the universe, if there is fine tuning, by a multiverse, right? There's multiple universes that spawn into existence over time, and we just happen to be one where our gravity is this way, and we happen to exist here. And there's other universes with different gravities where there's different people there, right? Different existences there. So I don't think that God solves anything for you here.
Yeah, but okay. So you just said if gravity was different, there could be different life.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't prove that to me. But I can prove that if gravity was stronger, then life wouldn't exist. I mean,
Well,
I can't
we
me
could
myself,
say
but
that
you
there
can
would be a
definitely search it
different
up.
universe that could exist. It's not that if gravity was off, the universe could still exist. It would just be a different type of universe. That's all. Whatever it is, whatever's in there, it would be different. But the point is that you are assuming that there's something special about our universe. You're assuming that the gravity is special. Why? For what? For us to be here?
Yeah,
Okay, great. So you're saying that there's a God who tuned the universe, which he didn't have to in the first place. He's God.
created.
He has access to all physical parameters. He can change at any moment, and he could make us live anywhere. He didn't have to tune anything. He's God. But you're saying that he tuned it anyway for this specific universe where we happen to be here as a tiny fraction of what's out there, and we are on a tiny mote of dust that is being bombarded by solar radiation that gives us skin cancers, and where life is hard to come by, even on the Earth. It's hard to survive here. So how would you assume that this universe is tuned for us if we can barely survive on the planet as it is?
Because we are fucking it up ourselves. We were given a gift. We were given a gift by God, and we are ruining that gift. And this started in the beginning with Adam and Eve.
No,
For
there's
example,
no evidence of Adam and Eve. There was no Adam and Eve. That's not possible, physically speaking. We know that humans have evolved over millions of years. We have our fossils that are millions of years old. There were no Adam and Eve at all. But also, the evidence also demonstrates that we adapted to the conditions of the Earth, and that's what the kind of configuration that we exist in is exactly what we would predict if there was only natural processes occurring, because we happen to survive in a specific range of parameters that allow us to be able to survive in sufficient amounts to replicate and reproduce. If there was a God, we would expect a vastly different universe where it was way easier to live and survive, but we don't see that. We would expect a universe where there was only life, but we find ourselves in a universe where life is very, very rare.
but exactly, that's how you know God is real. Because then life will just be everywhere.
That doesn't make any sense, because the entire point of fine tuning is to get something, and only that thing. Like if I tune a radio on my car, I'm tuning the radio for a specific frequency, for a specific station. I
Yeah.
don't want all stations mixed into one. So if you're tuning something, you want that one thing and only the thing. So we would expect to live in a universe where there was only living things if God tuned it. But no, we find ourselves as a rarity, one in which most of the universe, 99% of it, is dark, empty space and energy, which is not even living matter.
No, but
How
how?
do you
Yeah, but how
explain
do you know
this?
that's real? I can literally just say the same, because this argument about God is real or not is low key kind of stupid, because you're stubborn, I'm not gonna change your mind, and I'm stubborn, you're gonna change my mind.
Oh, this is just an excuse, right? If you had good evidence of God, I would change my mind. Give me evidence of God and I'll change. But if you can't do it, just tell me.
All right, you know the verses of the Quran, the holy book of Islam, that in that book, just search it up, it's a bit interesting. If you search it up, there's loads of different verses in the Quran that have predicted stuff that scientists have found, like now, in today's time.
No, there's nothing the Quran predicts. In fact, the
There is,
Quran
bro.
gets everything wrong about the world around it.
There is,
The
bro.
Quran says that the earth is flat. It says that the sun orbits
It
the
doesn't. It
earth.
doesn't. It doesn't say that. No,
It
no, no.
says
It
that there
doesn't
is
say the Earth
Adam
is
and
flat.
Eve. It says
No, it
that
doesn't. It doesn't. It
it
doesn't.
says that there is a 6-day creation. It says that there was a Noah's Ark, which is not possible. A global flood, which never happened. The Quran makes
How do you know?
ridiculous claims about things that are
How
not true.
how do you know there was no flood? Were
There's
you
no
there?
evidence of a flood, and if there was a flood, we would see the evidence, but we don't see the evidence of a flood at all.
Yeah, like you say, in the universe is like wide and empty. Like I'm big, like, because I believe in God, but I also love astronomy. Like it's a hobby of mine. So I'm a bit like on the
Okay,
fence.
so what's the evidence for God? If it's the Quran, we know is a book of mythology. It's not real. It's not true at all. It's garbage.
It is true.
Demonstrate. You can't just say it's true, right? I
Wow,
know you're
look, for
convicted.
example, there's
I know
bro.
Muslims are very convicted in their beliefs, right? But you don't have no evidence. At the end of the day, you have no good reason to believe the Quran's true.
If you look at the Quran, yeah, at the verses, there's like it literally talks about stuff that scientists have found today.
Give an example. Give an example.
How could it know? I can't think off the top of my head, bro. But just search it up.
I have
It's just
searched it up, and I guarantee you're probably going to point to things like 2130, where it talks about the firmament expanding, or the God expanding the firmament over the earth, which is not true.
nah.
There is no firmament. The
That's
Quran.
Christianity. The firmament is not in the Quran.
Oh, yes, it is. 2130, actually, at 5740 actually talks about the firmament. Absolutely. The Quranic version of cosmology includes a firmament, a dome around the earth, which protects us, which is not true. That's not how, there's no such thing as a dome around the earth. That's nonsense.
But
And
it also doesn't. It doesn't say the Earth is flat.
well, it says that the earth there's 4 corners to the earth. There's edges to the earth. And it says that you can see all the kingdoms of the earth from Mount Ararat.
There's one that I remember, something about like a knocking star. But I don't really remember. I've seen these on TikTok, bro, but I don't remember.
Yeah, TikTok's not a good source for Muslim apologism.
Yeah, whatever. Thing, are you a vegan?
Yeah,
Why are you vegan?
because I don't want to harm or slaughter animals that don't need to be harmed.
Yeah, okay. So you think evolution is a fact?
We know it's a fact, yes.
All right. What is the cause of evolution? Why have we evolved into humans?
Well,
Natural
evolution's a
selection, survival of the fittest,
evolution.
etc., right?
Yeah, evolution's a chemical process. At the fundamentals, it's mutations occurring in our genes.
Yeah,
DNA
so you believe in
instructions
like
for our bodies.
natural selection and survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Our goal as humans is survival. We have one goal, and
That's
that's
one
just
of our
to
no,
just to
that's
live.
one of our goals. That's one of our goals. There's many other goals.
No. That's the main goal. Our goals are not to, like lose weight and get $1 million. No. Fuck all that shit. It's literally just to survive, just to live.
No,
That is our goal.
that's not the only goal we have as people. Goals are subjective, right? Everybody has different goals. If you're talking about biologically, yes, we have evolved to survive better.
Yeah, and I have to rationalize because I can't now. It's illogical to not talk about everyone's like separate goals. The goal is to survive, survival of the fittest.
But what's your point
So
here?
we have evolved to a point where we can like just slaughter and kill animals and eat them for energy.
We've also evolved to a point that we can rape.
We are so
and we
much
can
more
murder,
powerful
but we look.
than every other being on this planet.
Look. Hold on. Just because we evolved to do certain things or have certain bodily functions that enable us to do certain actions, like, for example, murder. We can murder, but should we? No. Just because we could do something doesn't mean we should. That's why I think we should not harm animals. We don't have to anymore. There's no reason to. What's your justification?
I just explained that. I just explained that to you. It's survival of the fittest. We are the fittest. We are the most powerful being on this planet.
And yes, and with power comes responsibility. We don't, with power means we have options. The
Yeah,
fact
so
that we have the ability to choose.
evolution says it's animals' own fault. They
I
haven't
don't get my
evolved to the
morality.
point
Look, I don't get
of
my
them
morality
not
from
being slaughtered.
evolution. Hold on. I don't get my morality from evolution. I get my morality from logic and empathy. That's where I get my morality from looking at other people in my environment and other animals and understanding my interactions with them. That's how I get morality. I don't just go, oh, look, we survive for the fittest. That means we ought to harm people. No, because guess what? We evolved many traits that allow us to murder and rape and do terrible things. But those are all wrong to me because we don't have to do those things. So why not use your logic for a bit and recognize that your actions have consequences? We don't have to follow our nature. We can choose to do otherwise now. We have stores, we have options.
We don't have to follow our nature, but following our nature is what made humans human.
Okay, well, part of our nature was cannibalism. Should we be cannibals?
If all animals die out, then eventually, yeah, we'll have to eat each
You're
other.
not answering what I just said. Part of our nature as we evolved was cannibalism. We used to eat each other. Should that be okay?
But says who? No, I don't think that's true.
It is true. We actually have
Okay,
fossil evidence.
no
We
other
have
animal eats each
evidence.
other. To my knowledge.
There is evidence, sir. There is evidence that our ancestors ate people, were cannibals. That this is evidenced by tons of data and fossil evidence. So
Yeah,
should that be the case that we should eat people because we evolved to do so?
but we didn't evolve to do so.
Oh, well, we did, but let's
So
just
you're telling
hypothetical.
we all evolved to be Jeffrey Dahmer. Is basically what you're telling me.
No, we evolved. Some people in our ancestry evolved in certain ways to enable them to be cannibals, and we still can be cannibals today. Should we be cannibals? Because we can do it, and we evolved to do it.
Oh no.
Great. So then your naturalistic argument collapses. This is a naturalistic fallacy.
But we didn't. Okay, what
absolutely
animal eats itself, bro? What animal eats other animal of their own race? Do cows eat cows? No. Do dogs eat dogs?
Lions
No.
eat their babies, but your point is ridiculous. My point is just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. We can kill and eat animals, but should we? If we don't have to,
Yes, we should.
why? Why should we do it?
For
if we
food,
don't have
bro.
to?
For
And you know
food,
what?
bro. For food.
But we can eat other things that don't cause harm and suffering. We can eat plants.
Yeah, but that's life though. Life is unfair.
But we don't have to make it unfair. We can make it fair. Why would you choose to make life worse for others? That makes no sense.
Because they're inferior to us.
In what way?
Literally every way.
Give an example.
Intelligence.
Okay, so you're saying that a pig is not as smart as you, so you get to kill it.
Basically.
Okay. Is a human baby as smart as you?
No.
Should you eat babies?
No.
There you go, right? Just because something's less smarter than you doesn't mean you ought to kill it. So why should we kill pigs? By the way, they're actually smarter than babies. Pigs are actually have higher IQs than babies. So your argument collapses there too. In what way is it the case that we should kill animals? What trait do they have? Do we have that they don't have?
Basically, let me break it down like this. Being vegan is okay. So if you're vegan, do you think you should eat plants then? Because plants have life.
I suggest you go back to the drawing board and learn more before you come up and try to debate me. Keep tapping, guys, and please subscribe to the YouTube. Thank you so much. Okay, next. Guys, I have a YouTube where I put all my debates there. So if you guys missed the debates, if you want to see more of my debates, go check out the YouTube, link in bio.
What's up, man?
Hi.
How you doing?
Great. What do you got for us today?
So, where did you get these ideas from? Like, where did you form these ideas?
Which ones?
Screen.
These ideas here, I just learned them from, logic, critical thinking, science, evidence, studies.
So you believe we evolved from monkeys?
No, it's not that we evolved from monkeys. We share common ancestors about 6 million years ago. 20 million years ago, if you want to talk about monkeys. But yeah, we are
20
cousins.
million years ago?
What?
You said 20 million years ago?
Yes.
Where do you get that from?
The fossil record. Geological.
So how are fossil records recorded?
They are literally in the geological layers, and we can date them by looking at the genealogy. We can take a look at the age of the fossils. We can date the fossils. We can see which layers they're in.
How are
and
we
can date
dating the fossils?
and see the progression of their speciation.
How are we dating the fossils millions of years back?
How are we dating them? There's all kinds of radiometric dating methods. We use rock dating for the certain geological layers.
So you just believe it's accurate?
No, we actually do the mathematics and science to show it's accurate.
You believe the science and the mathematics are accurate?
No, the science demonstrates that it's accurate through the methodology.
So you have faith in science?
No, we actually use science as a tool to demonstrate things are true.
Okay, explain how it works then.
Well, I didn't expect to be Bill Nye today,
Well,
but sure.
I mean,
I
you say you have these ideas, so back them up.
Hold on, sir. I know you want to be arrogant and pretend you have all the answers.
I'm
but you don't.
literally asking you questions, bro.
Great. So then listen.
I'm listening.
We can dig up fossils underground and date them in the geological strata. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I know what dating means.
Okay, great. So if you know what dating means, then you should know that we can see the progression of these fossils, looking at homologous structures and analogous structures, and see the common lineage between these fossils. That's evidence of speciation. There's also DNA evidence. Human chromosome 2 is a great example of a chromosomal fusion that demonstrates our common ape lineage. We also have lab experiments like Richard Linsky's in the 1990s, where he took a species of E. coli and saw their speciation over time in the lab. The evidence is overwhelming for evolution.
How long was that E. coli study done? How many years or days?
About 2 decades, over 60,000 generations.
So comparatively speaking, you're comparing 20 years to 20 million years. That's what you're doing.
No, 60,000 generations, because bacteria have very low lifespans. They'll live maybe 24 hours. So within a 20-year span, we can see many generations, thousands of generations. But yes, in the fossil record, we can see many more generations, hundreds of thousands of generations, and hence we see way more evolution in the fossil record.
So what's interesting to me is math. I understand. I mean, anyone can do math, right? That's, it's quantifiable, right? But you're taking that and you're adding science to it, which science it's based on. I mean, there's different scientific theories, there's different hypotheses, there's different conclusions, there's different research. There's scientific research that conflicts with other scientific research. So
okay, what's your point? And what's the point here?
So my point is you're taking math, which is fundamentally true. Like we can come up with the same math, correct?
I don't know what that even means.
Can we come up with the same math? Like if we do like 5 times 5, 25, like
math is just a set of rules that we abide by.
Math is truth. Math is truth. Science is not. That's my point.
No,
because science conflicts with itself. Like there's science that conflicts with itself.
Hold on, sir. Hold on. Listen, there are different types of truths. There are analytical truths and there are synthetic truths. Synthetic truths is what we deal with in science. Empirics, the observations of reality. Math deals with logical truths, analytical truths, definitional statements. 1 + 1 is 2. That's a definitional statement. So mathematical truths are different than scientific truths. Scientific truths, although not absolute, they are approximate and get us closest to what we call the absolute truth.
Exactly.
Better than any other method. There is no other method that gets us closer to the truths about the empirical world around us than science.
The scientific method is very important. I don't disagree with you
So
there.
then what is your contention here with what I'm saying?
Well, are you familiar with scientism?
Yeah. Do you have an actual counter argument for me today, or are you just gonna
Well,
name
well, yeah,
call?
I'm getting to that. So scientism, how would you define scientism? Like what is that? Because
The belief
it's
that only science can give us truth, but that's not what I believe. So can you stop strawmanning and actually give a counter?
so you believe that, but what you're saying is science is truth though. Like you literally just said that.
No, I never said science is truth. You put those words in my mouth. I never said science equals truth. What I'm saying is science is a tool that can yield certain truths about reality.
It can
And
get
there
us
are certain
closer to the
degrees
truth.
of truth. There are certain degrees of certainty about certain claims. But with science, how we build credence towards certain claims is by gathering observational data.
Right,
And that's how
for sure.
science works. And that's why
Yeah.
evolution is a fact. It is so observable, it is so testable that we consider it fact in the scientific community. So, can you please give a counter towards evolution or go away?
So, okay, so with evolution in particular, what about adaptation? What's how does that compare to evolution in this context of like some
Adaptations are an aspect of evolution. Evolution is an umbrella of many different mechanisms, natural selection and genetic mutation and variations. But the point is that adaptation is one aspect of how evolution occurs.
right, so as humans, you don't believe like where do we come from then? Like what genetically speaking, like
We are
you don't
apes. We are apes. We are Homo sapiens, a
so we
species
did
of
evolve
great.
from apes. You said that we didn't
We
earlier, and
didn't
now you're changing
evolve
your
from.
story.
Look, this isn't Pokemon. We don't evolve from apes like a with an ape stone.
But you're like
We
arguing
share
for
common.
evolution,
Look,
then you're
look.
like you're
Think of
going against yourself. Like it's
look.
confusing.
I know it's confusing because you haven't done your research.
Well, I mean,
Think of
you're
evolution.
crossing your
Hold
own
on,
word though.
hold on. Think of evolution like a tree. Each different branch of a tree is a different species, a different pathway that a species can traverse. Our
Okay,
branch,
let's
our
stop
human
there. Let's
branch,
pause
is
there. I agree
just
with you.
one branch of the tree.
I
The
agree with
other
you.
branches contain other apes. But if you go back to the stump of a tree, all the branches connect to that one stump. See, that's the point. Every
Okay,
species on the planet shares common lineage. We're all connected
I
biologically.
agree. We're all connected, and I like that analogy with the tree. So, what does a maple or oak or any type of tree, pine, what do these seeds of these trees produce in the future?
Different species, different
An oak will
pathways in which
produce a different
species can
species. Is
arrive in.
that what you just said?
What?
No. I'm saying, okay, so any tree, oak, pine, maple, it doesn't matter. These trees produce, their seeds produce what type of tree, what species of tree in the future?
I don't actually mean a real tree. It's a hypothetical tree,
Yeah,
sir.
but
It's
like
just an
you're like I'm
analogy.
proving a point. It's very basic. I don't understand why you're not following. A maple tree, an oak tree, a pine tree, a birch tree, it doesn't matter the tree. What do these trees produce in the future? Their seed
Other trees
of the same what?
of the same species. Wait,
Exactly. Of the
you think
same
speciation occurs over one?
species.
Hold on,
Of
sir.
the same
Hold on. This is a
species.
shh. Hold on. This is a common argument. Do you really think speciation takes one generation?
So you want to have faith in something you can't see.
No, sir. Do you think speciation takes one generation?
I don't know. You claim to know though, so tell me.
Exactly. You don't know.
So you
So
think you do,
stop
tell me.
pretending as if you have an argument because nobody ever said that speciation takes one generation. It takes thousands of generations to yield a different species. And do you know what a different species is?
What is a different species?
It's when a new species is developed, it is a particular set of genetic code that is sufficiently different enough from its past ancestors to not be able to replicate with its past ancestors. That's speciation. Okay, so that's what a new species
Sounds
means.
more
It
like
takes thousands of
it sounds more
generations for
like
this to happen. You're
epigenetics.
never
It
a
sounds more like
person will look.
epigenetics to me, what
Look,
you're describing.
a person will always give rise to another person. My baby will always be a human. But guess what? Over thousands of years and thousands of changes, my baby is a little bit different than me, and their baby will be a bit different than them, and their baby, and so on. The changes are incremental, but over a long period of time, they're big. That's what speciation means. So what is your counter argument? Because you're just asking questions at this point.
I'm definitely asking questions. So the whole veganism thing. So why are you promoting going vegan? What's that about?
Look, I care about other people just as I care about other animals. I love animals, so I don't harm them. A lot of people say they love animals, but they harm them. So what gives you the right to kill, slaughter, and sexually assault these poor animals in factories?
Well, I don't eat that kind of meat myself. I eat high quality meat that's pasture raised, that lives a free life.
Yeah, but unfortunately, no matter how you treat somebody, you're still slaughtering them. So why do you get to slaughter these animals?
Well, I think our culture, our society as a whole doesn't understand the circle of life. We don't understand that death is a part of life. It's beautiful. We have a season. Everything is cyclical, as you shared to
Until
some
you
degree.
die. Sir, imagine if I was sitting at your deathbed and I said, death is beautiful, David. Would you be happy if I told you that? No. How about now
Yeah,
if I
but
told
here's
you
the
that?
thing.
Death is natural.
I would
So
know that it's true.
let me go
I
ahead
would
and
know that it's
slaughter
true.
you.
See,
Sir,
it's not about your
David,
opinion. It's
listen,
about
David,
truth.
listen. If I told you right now, death is beautiful, David, let me kill you now, your time is done, you would never think that's okay, right? You would never think that's okay. You would think I'm crazy and a psychopath, right? The same applies to you and the animals. You are saying, oh, it's the circle of life, so let me go ahead and slaughter you and sexually assault you. That doesn't seem to fit to me. I think that we don't have to harm animals, and so we shouldn't. It's that simple.
I don't know why you're saying sexually assault. It's kind of weird. Who does that?
We forcibly impregnate these animals. Where do you think the animals come from? Not the wild. We have
Oh,
to
you're saying
forcibly
oh, yeah,
impregnate
yeah.
them.
You're saying factory farming. I understand that. I mean, I completely disagree with factory farming. It's
All
insane.
farming entails abuse. All farming
Well, no, I mean
entails some
we've
kind
been
of
farming for thousands of generations. That's completely ignorant to say that all farming entails abuse. It's literally and here's the thing too. People that farm in a healthy way, they let their animals live a long and healthy life, right? They retrieve chickens, they let them
Okay.
run
If
free.
I,
They milk the
David,
cows, and they let the cows live a long life grazing
okay,
the
I
pasture.
understand
So
how it works.
you can't say something so concrete that has such an object. You can have you it, like
David, hold on. If I treated you nicely, I gave you candy and cookies, and I had you live in my backyard, roaming around my backyard, and then I gave you a nice life, and then 20, 30, 40 years later, I go ahead and slaughter you. Would that be okay to you to do that to people?
you're comparing cannibalism to different species.
What's the difference?
Well, first of all, we're different species and different levels of consciousness and
Okay.
intelligence.
So
100%.
what's the
Have you
morally
ever
relevant?
lived on a farm? Okay,
morally
so let
relevant
me tell you a
difference?
little about
Hold
let me give
on,
you.
David. No.
You don't
What's
really
the
let people
morally relevant?
communicate, do you? You just like to kind of push your perspective. You don't really have much of an open mind, do you?
Well, you're going off tangent.
Well, you're
I
not
don't
letting
care
me
about
talk.
farming. I don't care about your farming skills.
I'm not
This
talking
isn't
about my farming skills. I'm talking about
great.
how something operates in an
That's
ecosystem
irrelevant. That's
that you
irrelevant.
don't have
What's
experience
relevant
with, that
here?
you
Look,
are
David,
hyperbole speaking on.
David, what's relevant here is your justification for killing and harming animals. And my question to you is, what's the difference between eating a person and a cow? And so far, you cannot demonstrate the difference. I think you said consciousness. Is that correct?
Consciousness is one thing, soul
Okay.
is another, level
Did you
of
know that cows are
intelligence is
conscious?
another. I mean, I could
Did
go
you know
on and on.
that cows are conscious and intelligent?
Yeah, of course they are, but they don't have near the intelligence or consciousness that we have, and it's easily
Okay.
it's easy
Okay.
to tell.
Okay, great. So how about a human baby? Are they as conscious and aware and smart as you?
They are conscious and aware, not as smart as
Are
me.
they as smart as you? No,
No, 'cause their
right?
brains aren't as developed as much, obviously.
Great. So does that give you the right to kill babies and
Of
eat
course
them?
not.
Great. So at the end of the day, your argument collapses because it's not intelligence that
You,
matters
you
here.
don't understand why animals are here.
Neither do you. There's no reason why they're here. They're not here for us.
They are.
Prove it.
Bible.
So the Bible says that you have to eat animals?
No, it doesn't say you have to eat animals. It says they are here for us to use, take
Okay, great.
dominion over the earth.
But did the Bible say that animals suffer and die, and don't want to die?
Wait, what?
Does the Bible say that animals suffer? Because that's the facts is that animals suffer. Does the Bible say that?
It depends on how they're killed. There's different ways to go about doing it.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's
So
barbaric
what's-
ways
how do you-
and there are humane ways. There are different ways
Okay.
of going about it.
How
But
do
so
you-
let's just talk
how
about
do you-
like
No, no,
okay,
no,
so
no. Let's continue this, sir. Let's continue this. How do you humanely slaughter somebody that does not have to die?
you let the animal live a long, healthy life.
Okay.
Of course,
if I
it
let
sucks
you
when
live-
it
if
dies
I-
in the end. I'm not saying
Sir,
like
David,
listen,
David.
dude,
If I let you live,
really have to
70
listen
years-
better. If
David,
like, I
David,
understand you want to get your point across,
David,
but you're
David.
not really allowing for.
No, you're going on a tangent. You want to run away from the argument. Listen carefully. You said that killing animals is okay because you let them live a long life. If I let you live 75 years, a nice, long, healthy life, and at the end of 75 years old, I say, all right, David, your time is done, and I killed you. And then I ate your body part. Would that be okay to you, David? Would that be acceptable for you? Yes or no? Would it be okay to murder elderly people? David, can you please and please answer the question honestly?
Okay, I don't know how that happened. What was the question?
If I raised you nicely and I put you in my backyard and,
No,
and
we
you
already
lived there for
answered this.
75
That's
years,
murder and cannibalism. That was my answer.
great. So why is it murder when it comes to humans, but perfectly okay to do it to cows?
Because a cow is here for us to utilize.
Why? Cows are made of the same stuff you're made of. They're made of
Have
the
you ever had
same
a steak?
meats. Yes.
Doesn't
There are
taste good.
human steaks. There are human body parts you can consume. Should
Yeah.
we consume human body
People do
parts
that.
because they taste good to you?
Steak tastes really good.
Okay, what if human meat tastes good?
It's
Should we
wrong.
eat human?
So then
why is it wrong to eat people even though they taste good?
I'll tell you why.
And
There's
then
a,
why do
there's
you
a
use this argument
hierarchy
for
of life and existence on this planet. Whether you agree or disagree to that, that's the fact. That's the truth.
That's irrelevant to the fact that
No.
humans don't have to die, so we shouldn't kill them, just like animals. There's no reason to harm an animal or kill them. You have not given a justification for that yet.
Factory farming is different than free-range pasture-raised
We're
animals.
not talking about factory farming.
We're not talking about factory farming?
No, we're talking about animal farming in general. What
It's not all
do
the
you
same, though. Like,
do
you're
you
saying
do
it's all the same. Like, I don't understand the distinction.
makes you think that we can harm and abuse and sexually sold animals?
I don't eat that type of meat. That's what I'm telling you.
All meat
No, it's not
contains
all.
abusing, death, and
You don't
suffering.
understand farming. You literally don't
No.
understand farming. There's
Look,
different
sir,
farming
okay,
practices.
sir,
Okay.
listen.
So when you
listen,
understand there's
listen,
different farming
lis-
practices,
listen.
you understand there's variance. You're
If
you're
I
not
were
acknowledging
to,
that.
Sir, David, please. If I were to eat your body parts, I have to kill you first,
Back
right?
to murder, back to cannibalism.
Okay, great. So then you agree that you have to kill somebody to get their meat, right?
You have to kill an animal to get its meat. Yes.
Yes. So why are you killing the animal when you know that it's not needed? Do you have to kill cows?
No, I don't have to kill cows.
So then why do you do it if you know it's going to
Okay, I'll tell
cause
you
them
why.
death,
I'll tell you why.
which they don't want to die?
So
Why are
let's
you
talk
causing
about
them
why. Let's
death?
talk about why.
That's
So the real
unnecessary.
reason why, and I'll tell you exactly why, is biological function of my body requires dense protein and saturated fat.
Okay, great. You can get those from coconuts. You can get those from beans. You can get that from pasta,
The
rices, and tofu's.
bioavailability
You can
of
get.
plants compared to meat is vast.
No, it's not vast. In
Yes, it
fact,
is.
plants. No,
How much have
plants
you
are.
experimented with your diet?
Sure. Can you listen? Lentils have all the protein your body needs.
Anti-nutrients.
Lentils, beans, kidney
Phytates,
beans,
lectins,
pastas.
anti-nutrients.
Sir, please listen.
Your body doesn't absorb foods as well
Yes,
that
it
have anti-nutrients.
does.
Do you know what anti-nutrients are? I don't even think you know what anti-nutrients are.
Anti-nutrients have nothing to do with this
You don't know what
argument.
anti-nutrients are, do you? It's okay.
I do, but they're not even
Next
relevant
point.
because they don't harm your body at all.
Anti-nutrients don't harm your body?
There's no evidence that they actually harm.
Look at articles on PubMed, bro. There's scientific literature.
Great. So give me one study that shows we can't eat anti-nutrients. They harm us.
Phytates and lectins create inflammation in the body in a chronic state and cause us to have a hard time absorbing nutrients.
Give me
the
one study
reason
on
this
it.
happens is because
Sir,
plants
David,
have what are known as plant chemicals. These are class of anti-nutrients. The plants create this in order to repel bugs, in order to repel things.
Stop. Anti-nutrients can be cooked away in cooking them.
You got the nutritional value
great.
also.
See,
Congratulations. So you have a shitty piece
Sir.
of vegan bullshit.
Stop. You're not going to come up here and steamroll your nonsense. Anti-nutrients are not relevant. You can cook them away. They're not relevant. Beans are the healthiest thing for your body. There is no evidence that eating beans makes you sick. That's not true. Stop propagating nonsense. But more importantly, you're forgetting the ethical consequences here. You are harming cows for no reason. I can show you studies that demonstrate eating red meat raises your risk of heart attacks and heart disease. What do you say about that, David? The evidence for plant-based diet is overwhelmingly good. Plant-based diets are overwhelmingly healthy for you. This isn't just me talking. This is the science and research. I can give you multiple studies if you want me to. There is no evidence that anti-nutrients harms your bodies, number one. Number two, you can cook them away if you're that scared of them. Number three, there's actually evidence that anti-nutrients promote health. They actually are anti-cancerous. Okay? And fourth of all, health has nothing to do with veganism. I'm not vegan for the health. I'm vegan for the animals that you seem not to care about. That's what I'm aiming here for. I'm aiming to see why you think it's okay to abuse and harm animals. And so far, all you're saying is, I just wanna, because the Bible. It's not a good justification. So go ahead and give us an actual counter argument with substance.
Let me ask you this. What do you think about the CDC, FDA, all these medical governing bodies in the US? Are they doing a good job?
Sir, can you please give a counter argument that shows we should not be vegan?
It's a very simple question.
And it's irrelevant to the topic.
No, it's very relevant. You'll see.
It's not relevant, sir. We're not talking about health. We're talking about
Dude,
the
people
animal.
that try to control conversations are narcissists. Straight
So
up.
go ahead and give an actual counter argument because you have not done so
You're not
yet.
answering my question. You're evading the question. I
Your
didn't evade
question
your
is
question earlier.
relevant.
Now you're evading my question.
Your question is irrelevant
You
because you
can't
don't
answer
understand
it.
we're talking about ethics.
Okay, I'll answer.
We're
I'll
talking-
answer it for you. Okay, so our country.
No, you're not going to come up to my fucking live and do this nonsense, David. You're going to give an actual argument. I know you're a whack job who thinks that the CDC is killing us. Learn some fucking science, because you definitely don't fucking know what science means. You don't even know what evolution is. I had to educate you like a 5-year-old today. I had to literally talk to you like a kid and teach you about evolution. That is your fault that you don't understand evolution. I am not here to educate you. I'm here to get an argument from you. You don't have one. So give an argument or go away. This is your last chance. And if you mention the CDC or the BBD or their CBD, you're going to go, I'm just going to kick you off, right? Give an actual argument.
Mike, can you hear me?
Unfortunately.
Okay, so I'm very much embedded into the world of health.
No. Talk about ethics or go away. This is about ethical. This is
I'm talking about
debate.
health.
What
I'm talking
justifies
about
animal cruelty?
I'm talking about health ethics. Okay,
There's no such thing as health ethics.
There
It makes
needs
no
to
sense.
there needs to
We're
be.
talking about ethics. What
Yes.
justifies slaughtering all these animals? Why? Why do you get to slaughter these poor animals? Why?
Health.
But you can be healthy as a vegan.
You can be healthier eating meat.
Demonstrate that. You can be healthier.
Well, I've been a vegan before personally. I've been a vegan. I've been a
No,
vegetarian.
no, no,
I've been
no.
a
We're not doing
fruitarian.
anecdotes. We're
And
not doing anecdotes.
I know a
sir.
lot
We're
of
not doing
people that are
anecdotes.
vegans and
We're
vegetarians.
not doing
Okay,
anecdotes.
I'll give you research. I'll give you
Stop.
research. I'll give you research.
No, no.
PubMed.gov. You know
Okay,
that
great.
site? Do you know
So what
PubMed.gov?
research shows that meat eaters are more healthier, all else equal? Can you do that?
PubMed.gov has shown with multiple studies
No, 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 no.
that
Give me
vegans
one
have.
specific
Listen,
study.
I'm giving you a study right now. There's a study on PubMed.gov that shows that vegans are deficient in specific key minerals and amino acids that
That's
non-vegans
not a study.
are
That's not what
not
I asked you.
deficient in.
You can be deficient as a meat eater.
Of course. But
So
overall,
you have no
vegans are
points
more
here because
deficient.
there are no nutrients that I cannot get as a vegan. B12 I can get as a vegan. Proteins I get as a vegan. There is no single nutrient that I cannot get.
Vitamin D is pretty hard.
Vitamin D comes from mushrooms. It comes from
Yeah, you don't get a lot in
supplementation. I can
mushrooms.
get it
It's
from the
very
sun the
minimal.
best. I can get
Eggs,
no,
you can get a lot
listen,
more in.
listen.
It's a vast difference. You can't.
Shh. David, you're not listening to me. You're not actually engaging with me. Vitamin D can be had as a vegan in things like mushrooms and other types of foods that.
Yeah.
There's also supplementation. There's also the sun, which is the best form of
Of
vitamin
course,
D.
I agree.
So you don't need to be a meat eater to get vitamin D.
If you're in the north in the wintertime, you're going to be vitamin D deficient if you're
Okay,
vegan.
but
That's a fact.
you can still get vitamin D as a vegan no matter where you are on
But
the
you're going to
planet.
be
So what's
deficient
your actual
if you live in
argument?
the north.
What's your actual argument today?
You're going to be deficient if you live in the north and you're vegan.
No, that's not true. There's supplementation. There's certain foods that have vitamin D that are vegan.
Dude, pretty much
Do you know
everyone
what?
is deficient in vitamin D, first of all, even meat
Okay,
eaters.
great. So
That's a
you have
fact.
no point. So then you just conceded your point.
Statistical evidence.
So then you just conceded your point because meat doesn't not necessarily make you vitamin D efficient.
But it gives you more of a sufficiency of vitamin D.
No,
That's a
it
fact.
doesn't. Not necessarily. You can still vegan portions of it.
Dude, how many mushrooms would you have to eat compared to 2 eggs? It's a night and
Do
day
you know what
difference. You don't,
we're not- I never-
mathematically
I
speaking,
never
you're
said-
just
look,
incorrect.
I-
Look, we're talking about math here and you're incorrect. I'm sorry.
I never said that you have to eat only mushrooms.
What
I
else
also
besides
mentioned
mushrooms
vitamin
and
D.
the sun?
Hold on. I also mentioned mushrooms. I also mentioned fortified foods and supplementation. in the
Fortified
sun.
doesn't work that well at all.
Yes, it does.
It's,
There's no
you know what
evidence that-
fortified means?
Yes,
It's synthetic.
fortified foods actually are healthy for you. You can still eat
It's
them
not
and
the
still get
same.
plenty of
It's not as
vitamin D.
bioavailable. It's like saying ascorbic acid is the same as vitamin C from nature. It's not the same, bro.
Look. You're making very specific claims that that vegans can never be vitamin D sufficient. By the way, I am.
Where'd you get your test? What kind of blood work? Where'd you get
I
done?
got blood work done, and I'm vitamin D sufficient. Okay, but this is an anecdote. The studies, the scientific research out there shows that vegans can be sufficient in all nutrients. This is not me talking. This is the position of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. A study of tons of doctors
Who
and
funds that
nutritionists,
organization?
which demonstrate vitamin D. You can be sufficient in vitamin D as a vegan. You're going down this wrong tangent.
It's not true. I'm telling
Yes,
you.
it is. Do you want? I can show you the study. It's called
Please
the
do.
position
Please do.
of-
I would love to see it.
Listen, David, listen. You haven't listened to this entire conversation.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
have.
you still believe the CDC's. Look, the study is called The Position of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and it shows as to vegan diets, and it shows that vegans are suitable for all nutrients, all stages of life. You can be very healthy as a vegan. There's no need to eat meat for vitamin D, period, or any nutrient.
My friend, this is why you're blinded. Your blind faith in science is not allowing you to see the full picture and be
it's
truly
evidence.
objective. You're not
Do
truly
you know what a
objective.
sir, do you know
Because
what a
I, like you,
meta-analysis
used to
is?
be a vegan and I was incredibly
Sir,
deficient in minerals,
sir,
vitamin D.
Sir,
I was so
just
skinny,
because
my spine
you-
was dotted.
Sir, stop. This is embarrassing.
Wasn't
Just because you were a vegan and you fucked up your diet doesn't mean that veganism is bad. That's ridiculous. This is an anecdotal claim. Again, the scientific research, this is nutritionist and data and meta-analysis. of people around the world showing that you can be sufficient in vitamin D. You're arguing a non-point because you are so biased against what I'm saying here. You have not presented a single source that says vegans cannot be vitamin D sufficient. I have given you multiple sources. Give me one that says I must eat meat. Can you do that for us? You can't. There is no such study. There is no reason to eat meat, period, ethically or healthily. So either give a source or go away, because you're wasting our time. You don't know how to debate. You don't know what you're talking about.
Your brain doesn't work as well if you don't have saturated fat. Saturated fat.
You could get saturated fat from vegan foods.
Oh, you can. 100%, I agree. However,
So then what's
the
your point?
bioavailability of it, the density of it is totally different. You're not a plant. Listen.
That doesn't matter,
So
sir.
let me explain why. Let me explain why.
Hold on.
I'll explain why.
No.
You don't want to hear it.
You're wrong.
Well,
Because
okay, but at least hear the argument. Like, if you can't hear the argument, then
it doesn't matter how much you're talking about the difference. You can still get sufficient quantities of saturated fat as a vegan. You're arguing a non-point here. It doesn't matter how bioavailable it is. By the way, you have no actual evidence that it's not.
I know one of the top raw vegan influencers in the world.
I don't care about influencers.
She has over 1 million followers.
David, let me educate you again today.
Bro, stop muting me.
Because you're yapping, and you're not actually giving a source or evidence. So I have to teach you what evidence means, right? You don't get evidence from a person on TikTok. You get evidence from data and sources that are scientific and peer-reviewed. So don't listen to some dumb influencer.
I'm not.
You have to listen to is
That's what I'm doing.
What data do you have that demonstrates we have to eat meat to
All
survive?
right. Let me pull up this study, since you really want the study. Let me pull it up for you, because I understand. I want the study too. I wrote about it because I was like, this is crucial, especially when Netflix.
Sir, can you stop yapping and start giving the data?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Especially when all the documentaries on Netflix promote.
Okay, how about you stop yapping and then give the study when you're ready, okay? I'll meet you when you're ready, okay? I'll meet yourself when you're ready. Don't yap. Give the data or go away.
Kidding me? It's so annoying. It's childish. It's narcissistic.
Then give the data.
Looking it up right now.
You should have done it already. You spent all your time yapping. You didn't pull it up.
Man, you're impatient. All right, so the study found by David Rogerson from Sheffield Hallam University in the UK. The study found that 62.5% of amino acids vegans were more deficient in. More than half.
And you can, just because you're eating less amino acids doesn't mean there are vegan sources of all those amino acids.
It was also found in the study that vitamin B12, iron, zinc, calcium, iodine, and vitamin D, and
you get all of those from vegan sources.
Long-chain fatty acids, EPA, all the lower.
Stop, David. Listen, all the amino acids you can get from vegan sources.
Yeah,
all you have to do,
but that's not. Unfortunately,
your study unfortunately does not show that I can't be vegan. I still get all the amino acids I need because vegan sources have all the amino acids we need. Beans and rice and pastas have all the amino acids we need. And more importantly, iodine and vitamin D, I explained to you, we can get those from vegan sources. Sea salts have iodine. B12 is from mushrooms, duckweed, and all kinds of vegan sources. The point is that you have to do a little bit of research and find the foods, but if you can find them, you can be perfectly sufficient in the nutrients you need. You have not shown that I have to eat meat. You have no study that demonstrates that. There is no study that shows I have to eat meat. Not a single one. Can you give the source that actually demonstrates I have to eat meat? Come on, David, unmute yourself, please. And please give actual studies that demonstrate I have to eat meat.
Oh, if you would stop muting.
Well, just give the actual relevant study this time.
So, do you know what PubMed.gov is? That's where that's from.
Okay, I don't care where it's from. I'm asking you what study shows I have to eat meat. You haven't done it yet.
There's no study that says you have to do anything in the world. That's
Great,
a nonsensical idea.
That's why I can still be vegan. There's no reason I have to eat
Yeah,
meat.
you can, but your brain isn't going to work as well. You're going to be
that's not
impatient,
true.
moody, emotional, just like
That's
you've been
not
this
true at
entire
all.
life.
That's not true at all.
That is
There's
true. Ask the
evidence,
fans.
in fact, of the opposite, but it doesn't matter. The point is that vegans can be healthy if they're getting the right nutrients, period.
Yeah, but their brain doesn't work as well. They're impatient. They're moody. They don't have enough saturated fat to build their brain matter.
David, stop.
The fact.
You have not, show me the source that says vegans must eat meat to be healthy in terms of the brain power. Can you do that?
Show you the source that says that vegans have to eat meat? That doesn't even make sense.
Yes. Show me the source that says we have to eat meat for our brains to be happy.
Do you know what your brain is made of?
Oh my gosh.
Saturated fat.
It's made of fat, which guess what we get from vegan foods?
Not saturated fat.
And by the way, you know that your brain runs on carbs?
Yeah, your brain definitely
great.
runs
So
on
what
carbs for
makes your brain
sure.
function
I
best
agree
is
with you.
carbs. Can you give me the study that shows we have to eat meat to be happy?
Dude, your brain definitely runs on carbs. That's why you're so impatient.
Okay,
That's
great.
why
So
you're
can you
muting
give-
me.
so
That's
then-
why you're
so then-
triggered. That's why you don't want to look at the science.
Nope. You have not given me a single source that demonstrates I have to eat meat to be happy. It doesn't exist.
Well, so it's not about
And the
okay.
studies you have not given me a single resource that says vegans cannot be healthy and happy.
Let's
You have not done that.
let's talk about happiness. I think that's a good
No,
point.
no. You're gonna give the
You just
actual
said you want to talk about it.
evidence.
Now you're saying no?
No. Shh. Stop yapping, David, and listen this time. Give me a source that demonstrates vegans have to eat meat to be healthy. Can you give that source that says meat is the only thing that makes you happy in this world, and that to be the most smartest man you have to eat meat? Can you give us that study?
You want to play a live chess match right now and see who wins?
And if I beat you, you'll concede that veganism is better?
If you beat me, I will go vegan for a
So
week.
this demonstrates how dishonest you are, right? Because you actually don't care about the evidence. All you care is I'm brighter than you. I'm bigger, stronger than you. You don't actually care about the data.
No, I
This
gave you
makes
the data. So okay, let's look it up.
You are a dishonest interlocutor this entire time. I had to explain to you all the arguments and what they mean, what evidence means, and you didn't understand it. And you're giving all these anecdotal things, and you have not given any actual evidence that vegans must eat meat.
So I just went to PubMed.gov and I just literally typed vegan. The very first study that comes up says nutrient status and growth in vegan children. Let's click on the very first one that comes up. Vegan diets have risen in popularity over the last 9 years. However, few studies have examined nutrient status and the effect of a vegan diet on the growth of children. This study analyzed existing impact and growth impact of selected nutrients in vegan children.
I understand. I know the study you're talking about. It does not demonstrate that vegan children are unable to be vegan. You can still be vegan as long as you're getting proper nutrients.
Well, let's just read it. We assessed the intake of calories and protein as well as the nutrients of iron, calcium,
No, don't read it
vitamin
to me.
D.
Just tell us the conclusion and show us why I have to be a meat eater.
Oh, look at this. It says, with a small percentage of outliers, vegan children showed normal growth and were
Yay,
less.
congratulations.
Look at this.
There's no
Wait.
reason to leave.
You're going to love this. And were less often obese.
So you're proving my point for me.
So
Yay. What's your
this
point?
study is saying that it's actually almost the same, remarkably.
Exactly. That's why your argument is moot, because you actually don't have evidence showing that you can't be vegan.
Huh. But later in the study, for a more definitive assessment, data and the intake
This
of...
is the problem, right? This is the problem, David.
Oh,
This
you know
entire
what?
time you bring up these
I'm sorry.
ridiculous studies that actually don't demonstrate vegans can't be vegan.
So it says, for a more definitive assessment, data on the intake and nutrient status of omega-3 fatty acids are needed. So it's actually saying that they're It's the same study. It's the same.
Bye. Look, guys, I understand where David was coming from. He wants to come up and defeat the vegan, but unfortunately, it's not going to work because there is no such study that shows we cannot be vegan. As long as you're getting proper nutrients, which we should all be getting, you should be vegan. Hey, how are you? Hello?
There's no sound. I don't hear you.
Can you know?
Sorry, I'm not hearing anything.
All right, I'll bring you back up later. Did you guys hear the guest?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, how are you?
I was just wondering, how can you say that God is imaginary when you have Christian flag in your bio?
That's satire. But yeah, there's no evidence of a God.
Yeah, can you prove to me that God doesn't exist?
Sure. How old are you? Okay. So the reasons why I think God doesn't exist is because there's no evidence for it. There are the omniparadoxes, the divine hiddenness issue, the problem of evil. There's many different logical problems with God.
Yeah, but how can you prove that God doesn't exist, though? You don't have any proof.
With logic, right? It's like a married bachelor. It's not possible to exist. We can point out the same contradictions in your worldview and say, and we can show that that's not possible logically.
Yeah, I can, but the proof is the Bible, though. Like, you literally have the proof. It's the Bible and the people who wrote the Bible.
Yeah, the Bible is just a storybook. It's not actual evidence of anybody being a supernatural being.
And how do you know that? Were you there when it happened?
It's just a story, right? If I wrote a story and said that there is a magic beanstalk who can talk to people, does that make it true?
No, but there's many scientifically facts and evidence that the Bible is true as well.
Like what?
It's kind of hard to explain, but if you just search up and you can find many evidences. Like
okay, if you can give an example of a fact that demonstrates the Bible is true.
Of course. Wait, can I just quickly find one? Because I don't have it on the top of my head.
Come back when you get it, okay? Come back when you get one. We're not going to wait for you to go to your Bible. You guys should be coming up with the data ready. Not be like the last two guests who were just stumbling. Oh, let me find a study that proves me wrong. Hey, what do you got?
Hello?
Yep, how can I help you today?
Hi. I'm definitely an agnostic and all that, and a vegan. And I just want to know if you think it's, this sounds a little bit fantastic, I know, but weird things have happened. I'm an old lady, and weird things have happened through my life experience where it makes me wonder, and I know this is really sounds fantastic also, but do you think there's any possibility of, or any proof of, like any kind of consciousness or existence in spirit after physical death?
No, I don't know what a spirit is. I'd love to see evidence for a spirit, but I'm not saying, I'm not going to be dismissive and say, no, that can't be, but I don't know what you're even talking about. Or, and if we're going to answer this question honestly, we have to bring the data to the table, bring observations. Let's experiment with these spirits. How do we get them here? How do we do it? If you can do that successfully, I'll believe you. But until then, it's just a conjecture. It's not real.
Just a fantasy, I suppose. Like you think you hear something, or I'm not insane, but you think you hear something, or you think you know, and even an animal.
Yes,
you know,
humans. Yes, we're very susceptible to hallucinations, very susceptible to all those things. Our brains are very bad. They're very malfunctioning machines. They malfunction all the time. So,
and I want to thank you for pointing out how the eating animals, the slaughterhouse, the whole thing, the factory farming, is contributing just as much as CO2 contributes to global warming, with the methane. And that's what a lot of people are not getting. They just
Yeah.
obviously I'm 76 years old and I'm very healthy and I haven't eaten a drop of meat since I was 39. So
Wow.
yeah,
No, how about dairy?
no dairy. I think that's very
You
cruel.
haven't you've been vegan for 40 years?
Oh yeah, at least.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Wow. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
You sound younger.
I know. I am. Everything about me is younger. No one believes I'm as old as I am. I guess just, you know.
Thank you for being here and thank you for being compassionate towards the animals. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Yo,
Hi, how are you?
good. How are you?
Good. What do you have for us today?
What's the evidence of God being imaginary?
How old are you?
18.
Yeah. Like I'm 21 or but older. Like hey, how are you?
Hello. So, yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. So, if you want to kill the most animals, you should go vegan.
No. So yeah, this is a common argument from your guys' side. You say, well, you're killing all those bugs and insects, but the problem is that most crops in the world are grown for meat eaters. You're killing way more crops and hence way more animals at the same time, right? You're killing 90 billion animals per year, plus trillions of fish in the oceans. So you're killing so many animals and plants around the world. In fact, studies showed that if we went vegan, we'd actually reduce the amount of crops we have to grow and feed everybody at the same time. So vegans are way better for the environment. We kill way less animals than any meat eater can.
Okay, I just want to say, so I just have to kill one chicken to feed my family. But in order for you just to eat your dogs, I have to kill on the whole soybean acre, I have to
No,
kill
that's
every rabbit, every bird,
no, that's
every
not
frog,
true.
every
No,
worm,
that's
every
not true at
insect
all.
that
Look,
there
look, look.
is. And afterward, I
No,
have to,
no,
if there's
no, no,
anything
no, no,
left, I have to
sir,
spray with
sir, stop,
Monsanto
please,
the whole field.
please, stop pontificating. I understand that animals die in crop fields, but guess what? You're comparing one chicken to one soy salad or tofu salad. Well, it only takes maybe what to produce those soybeans versus the chicken, right? Chicken has to eat all that food throughout its entire life, take up all that water, right? How are you raising that chicken? What are you feeding that chicken? All that stuff you haven't accounted for, right? So that also to be accounted for too. But sure, you can compare and contrast one chicken to one salad, but the problem is that that's not actually how the world operates. In actuality, 90 billion animals are being killed for you globally. Versus if we all went vegan, we'd actually reduce the amount of crops we have to. And I just explained this to you, which you probably didn't listen. Vegans kill way less crops, and it's way less animals. It's really that simple. So do you have an actual counter?
No, because you have no proof of that. Also, you didn't let me finish. So, again,
The proof is I have multiple studies.
animal on your
Do
field,
you want the studies?
you have to, bro. Come on.
Here's one. Meat eaters and vegetarians in the UK show descriptive environmental impacts, and it demonstrates that vegans would use about 75% less land. Impacts to producers and consumers. It says that 75 to 83% of arable land is used for animal agriculture. We could feed everybody on the planet calorie-wise using 75% less food. Here's another one called Field Deaths in Plant Agriculture. It says that 2 animals die per 5 acres. Many animals are not killed in the combines; they're killed by predators as they feed on the crops. So, I mean, I can go study after study showing that you're wrong.
Yeah, and you just blindly believe them because you don't know who's financing those studies, my friend. So
Well,
you can
they're
just
not
believe
financed.
every
They're not.
that you read. But the
No,
reality is, if we
these are
all
peer
go
reviewed.
vegan,
Stop,
if we all
stop.
go vegan, no, my friend, because I
Those
let you finish
studies,
your
all
points.
the studies, sir, all the studies I just mentioned were peer reviewed by two of them by Oxford University. They're peer reviewed. They're not financed by the big green and the big broccoli industry.
Yeah, right. Again, as I was talking, just imagine if we all went vegan, bro. That's not sustainable. I'm sorry. I'm
Yes, it
sorry.
is. It
I
is.
have to
Wait,
kill every single
you're not.
living being.
No, stop. I'm so tired of non-vegans saying this. And stop. You're not gonna spread this misinformation here.
Pesticides
That is not true.
in your body.
Vegans don't kill everything. It's the meat eaters that kill everything. I just gave you 3 sources that show the opposite of what you're saying. I just gave you 3 sources. And you are being dishonest by coming here and just spouting all that stuff. You're killing every bee and insect. Listen to the actual evidence every time. I cited you the studies and I made sure I did that for you, and you didn't listen to me. You're not an honest interlocutor, right? Again, 75% of land and crops in the world are grown for animal eaters. Why do you do that? If we all went vegan, we would save land a tremendous amount and feed more people. So please bring a better argument instead of just doing that stuff that you got from Piers Morgan or some dumb guy in TikTok.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm 42, by the way, so I'll let you know. As I'm watching your so to let you know, as I'm watching your live, you keep glitching in and out or freezing up or something. But anyways, you're vegan, right? I'm assuming.
Correct.
Okay, so let's bring some light on this. So y'all are mad because we eat meat. So let's turn this around. You're killing plants, right? By eating them. Eating it. It's a living thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
I got one more question for you. Say if you have 1,000 acre of land full of vegetables, what you eat, and you got hogs coming onto your land, got whatever coming onto your land, destroying your crops, which is money, goes in your pocket. You see where I'm going with this? What would you do?
No. One, plants are not sentient. That's why they don't feel pain, right? You're comparing a cow to a carrot. Cows feel pain. They're sentient. They're conscious. They're aware. They're very emotional animals. They don't want to die. Don't have to die. Plants are not sentient. They don't have brains, nervous systems, or pain receptors. They don't feel pain at all. But more importantly, when it comes to the hogs is the meat eater's problem. The reason why there are hogs is because people brought those into our country because they wanted to eat meat. So the entire point of the hog thing is your fault. Vegans are against that. Vegans are against cruelty in any way. How could you be against veganism? Veganism is about being compassionate and caring for others. How are you against it?
I hear what you're saying. Now answer my question. What I just asked you, the second question, like with the crops. What would you do if an animal was coming to eat your crops? Would you eat?
I would protect the crops. And that's okay to protect your crops.
Okay,
But the
how would
problem
you
is
protect
that
your
meters-
crops?
Hold on. Protecting our crops is necessary for our survival, and that's fine. But what you're doing is an entirely new level of destruction, because you're producing 75% of crops in the world just to feed your animals. Do you understand? You're causing way more crops to be produced and way more animals to die for you. You're doing way more destruction than a vegan. Vegans are saving land. We're saving the animals. We're helping the planet. You're destroying it.
Okay. You still answer my question.
I did. I said I would protect my crops. That's what we have to do to survive.
How would you protect your crops?
fencing, pesticides, all kinds of things.
So you're saying use pesticides against a living animal, right?
Yeah, we have to survive.
So you're saying you're vegan and it's wrong to kill an animal, but you're saying you use pesticides. Thank you. Bye. See you later.
Veganism. Yeah, I know you think you have a gotcha there, but you don't. Veganism does not mean we're perfect and we kill no animals ever. That's not what veganism means. And I suggest you learn what veganism means. Veganism means we want to minimize cruelty to the animals, not maximize it. Right? We want to minimize cruelty, and that's what we're doing as vegans. And I know you guys are all saying he got you there, but how? How did he get me when he kills more animals? Veganism does not mean we cause no harm ever. It means we do. But I know you guys are very, very, you guys want me to lose because you want to remain in your habits of slaughtering and sexually assaulting animals. I understand your perspectives, guys. I used to eat meat too. But the problem is he didn't have an argument because, look, veganism means we want to minimize cruelty as much as we practically can, not eliminate it. And if we could eliminate, we should, but we can't do it at the present moment. Whereas from his perspective, he thinks killing 90 million animals a year and suffocating them in gas chambers is okay. See the difference? The mentality is different. The intention is different. The entire ethical framework is different. So to me, I think that you guys, I know you guys are all against me in the comment section, but just listen to what I'm trying to tell you guys. There are good reasons to be vegan. There are no good reasons to kill and slaughter animals. You don't have to be harmed.
Well, sir, is that me? Hey, see how you said God's imaginary?
Yep.
You're on fentanyl. I'd believe that as well if I look like that.
I don't really understand that guy, but next.
Okay. So, I kind of major. And
You're cutting out, sir. You're
I
cutting.
have
We
researched
can
this
hear you.
and oh wait, I cannot hear you.
How about now?
I can't hear you.
Hi, Mike. So I had two questions for you. What do you think about ethical hunting, especially for how indigenous people would have done it in the past? Like not
It's
using
not needed.
traps.
Yeah, it's not needed. There's no need to hunt. It's not ethical to hunt anybody. I don't want to hunt anybody.
Yeah, I won't necessarily disagree with you on that. I just wanted to know what your stance on that was. And the other question I had for you is, are you pro-life?
I don't know what that means, pro-life. What do you mean by
Well,
pro-life?
so what I mean by pro-life is, do you think that women should be able to have the choice to abort their unborn child?
Yes, abortion is a healthcare. Abortion is taking into consideration the well-being of the mother and taking into consideration their bodily rights. I support your right to eat meat, just like I support people's rights to get an abortion. It's their body, their choice. But the problem is you think this is another gotcha, right?
No,
You
it's
guys
not a
come up
gotcha.
here.
I'm questioning your right.
Gotcha. Look, he's pro choice. That's not what veganism means. Veganism doesn't mean you're pro you're pro-life or whatever you're saying. No, it has to do with taking into consideration people's well-being and their choice to their bodies, like the animals' choices to their bodies. You're going out
Like
of
the
your way to
baby's
harm
choice to their
animals.
body. Yeah.
What?
Like the unborn child's choice to their body. Yeah.
The
I mean, it
woman.
is a contradiction. It's not supposed to be a gotcha, but I was genuinely asking or ethical framework
The
around.
unborn, embryos don't have brains. They don't have
But they
opinions.
are
They're
of a
just
rational
embryos.
kind, which
They're
you
cells. They're
obviously know
clumps of
that.
cells. They're clumps of cells with
You are a
no
clump
person
of
there.
cells, Mike.
No, we have brains though. We're a specific structure which entails brains and all these things that embryos don't have. Do you think embryos are children?
But they will have that if
Do you
you
do you
don't
think
unalive them.
do you think embryos are children?
Well, they're offspring, so yeah. A child. Do you know what
Okay,
child
you
means?
see,
Child is literally just a pre-existent human.
man, do you think embryos are children, human children?
Yeah. Yep, that's
Okay,
yep.
so how about sperm? Are sperm cells
Well,
human
they're not
children?
human lives, so no.
Yes, they are. Sperm cells are human
Sperm are
cells.
alive, but they're not human life. It's not a
They are
unique
human life.
human.
Sperm cells are human
It is
cells.
not a unique human individual. A
Yes, it
sperm will
is. It's
never
a human
grow into a
cell. It's a
human
human
without
cell.
an egg.
It's a human
Have
cell.
you
But
ever
okay,
read a
fine.
biology book?
The funny thing is that you think embryos are children, but they don't have brains, nervous systems, or anything like that of the
But
sort. And by the way,
what's your definition
by
of
the way,
children? What's your
by
definition
the
of
way,
child?
when it comes to hold on, when it comes to a woman's body, that baby or that embryo was not wanted in that body, so it's an intruder. We are subject to biology. We do not dictate if we become pregnant or not. It's we're subject to biology.
Mm-hmm.
So it's our choice to our own bodies because that embryo or that fetus is inside of our body. The choice to do what we want with our bodies. Why do you want to force women to give birth? I don't want to force anybody to give birth.
Well, no one's forcing them to give birth. Birth
Yes,
is the
you are. You
process
are
of getting
forcing
the
people.
offspring out of your body, and
No,
that's going to
no, you are
happen whether you
forcing.
have an
You are
abortion or
forcing.
not. You're going to
You are
give birth.
forcing. Stop.
That's
You
how
are
you get the
forcing.
baby out.
Stop. Stop. You are stop. You are forcing people to give birth that they don't want to give birth to, and then guess what you're doing? You are eliminating healthcare for people, and you're actually causing people to die because they don't have
Yes,
access
so
to
are you.
healthcare.
And so
No,
actually, you
I'm
don't
not.
even
I
understand
am not
my.
causing any person to die.
Well, actually,
Fetuses are
so
not
you, for
people.
one, don't
Embryos are
understand.
not
I'm gonna.
people.
Okay, so you're ranting now. Calm down a little bit, Mike. So of course,
No,
if at any
you are
point in
literally
time,
killing. No, there is no reason to be
if at
calm
any
here.
point in time
No, there is no reason to be calm here when you are
the
literally
mother's like,
killing people that are actually people. You're talking about fucking embryos. They don't have. They're not people.
or at one point,
They don't have licenses.
what
They
do
don't
you
have
think
birth
you?
certificates. They don't have birth
What do you think you
certificates,
were?
ma'am. Do you think you should? Do you think we should go to jail
What do you?
for IVFs?
What do you think
This
you
is
were?
ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. You're killing people for real.
So are you. That's the
No, I'm
ironic
not.
part, is you call
Ma'am,
yourself
a
a vegan
fetus is
and you
not a
say you're so
person.
compassionate, and
An
then you
embryo is
think that women
an
should have
embryo is
the.
not a person.
Have you ever? So again, I'm not sure what your point is in how you like to have these conversations, but have you ever heard of the? I believe his name is Don Marquis. He came up with the philosophical argument of flow. Flow. It's called future like ours. We obviously know that we are of a rational kind. You and I and everyone listening, we were all the same embryo at one point. Like, you can't just say we're clumps of cells, they're embryos, blah, blah, blah. We were all that at one point too. We are of a rational kind, and if given the natural process, if you don't unalive it, it will grow up to be similar to you. So I just think
And
it's
who
ironic that
cares?
you talk
Who cares
about you're
more?
pro-choice.
Ma'am, the same can be said for sperm.
Sperm is never.
Should we ban, ma'am?
Sperm is not going
ma'am?
to.
Should we ban masturbation? Stop, Molly.
Biology
Stop,
book.
Molly. Stop, Molly, and listen. Listen. Should we ban about masturbation because our sperm cells might
Can you
have a
read
future
about?
like ours? This is where your argument leads to.
If
It
you
leads
have
to ridiculousness. We're not
a
talking
biology
about
book.
human people. We're talking about fucking clumps of cells.
People of cells, you
No, I'm
listen more about
not.
it. Yes, you
No, I'm not
literally
just
are.
no, the difference is that I have a brain, a nervous system, and a want to live. A fucking embryo doesn't have those things.
Yeah, it will grow those things. It's developing those things.
But it doesn't have
Clearly.
to, and it's not granted the right to if it's in my body and I want it out of my body. I am not supposed to be forced to give birth to somebody. You do not
Again,
have the right. You do
you
not have
don't
the right to
understand what
control my
birth
body.
is.
Ma'am, you do not have the right to control my body.
You
Period.
realize if you have an
It's Jesus fucking Christ in my body. If he's in my body, he's getting the fuck out of there. I don't care if he's alive or conscious. It doesn't matter who's in my body. It's my body, my choice. I don't care if it's fucking Jesus, which doesn't exist anyway.
Oh, that's fine, Mike. I'm not here to talk to you about that.
Then why are you sitting here trying to force people to give birth and die because of your dumb Bible?
It has nothing to do with a
It
Bible.
absolutely
Actually,
does.
it
It
doesn't. I
absolutely
used to argue on
does.
this app for don't act
This
like you
garbage.
know me.
Look. The only reason why you're
Don't act like you
pro-life, the only reason why you're pro-life is because you think there's a magic being who says you are made in my image. Now
That's
you're a
not it.
living me. That's the only reason why I
Again,
believe this.
you
Because
just
if you
like to
were
say these
if you
things.
did not have this, if you did not have this religious bias,
This
you
has
would not be saying the dumb things you're saying.
Dude, I used
It's a fucking clump of cells.
on this app.
Get over it.
I used to argue pro-choice on this app,
I don't
Mike.
care. I don't care. You are forcing birth and killing people.
Again,
Why?
I don't understand why you
Why?
keep using this word birth. If you have an abortion, that is considered birth. Like, seriously, Mike, you need to.
No, it is not a
We can
birth
argue
to
semantics. Like,
to
either
want
way,
an
if you are
abortion.
pregnant, you have to
That's
birth the
ridiculous.
baby to get it out.
Ma'am,
Like, you clearly don't understand biology.
Ma'am. Shh. The point here, the point is that you
Point of
want to force women to go
don't
through a
engage.
pregnancy that they don't want. I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't care who is in their bodies. If somebody is in my body, I will never succumb to you, Molly, and go, okay, Molly, you want me to give birth to this person? I'm never gonna
It's
fucking
not
do
this.
that. I'm sorry, Molly.
It's
I'll
your
never
off.
give birth to somebody. I will never give birth to somebody, Molly, because you want me to. That's pathetic. That's disgusting. And I'll never support that. It's my body. It's my fucking choice. In the process, you're trying to take away healthcare from people. You are killing teenagers around the world, around the country. You are literally killing teenagers. You're not pro-life. You're forced birthers. I'm sorry, but nobody dictates how I live my life and how my body operates. Only I can do that. All right, let's get the next victim in here.
Hello.
Hey, what do you have for us today?
I hate you.
Okay, why? I understand that, but why? Why do you hate me?
Cause you're vegan.
Because I'm vegan? Okay, so what's so bad about being vegan? Is it the saving animals part? Is it the compassion part?
Both.
Okay, so you don't like compassion?
Oh no, I do.
Okay, so now you do like me. Okay, so which is it? Do you hate me or do you like me?
I actually love you.
Okay, have a good day. Typical meat eater.
Hello, Mike.
Hey, how are you? How can I help you?
I'm miraculous, man.
Great, what do you got?
You want to do vegan or God? Which one do you prefer?
Whatever your best argument is.
Well, we can do either one. I'm
Whatever
equal on
your
both.
best argument is. Look, whatever.
Sure,
give your
I would say that veganism is going to be a philosophical framework about treating all living creatures based off the way you treat people on this app on a regular basis. You are not a vegan.
What did I do that's so bad?
I think that your behavior to
What did I
humans.
do that's so bad?
Oh,
You
sure.
don't like what
So
I'm
to the
saying, so you
last,
don't like me?
yeah, no. To the last guest before he joined, you said, "Who's my next victim?"
It's a joke. It's satire.
No, you're a joke, Mike.
Are you crying? Are you okay, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Have a good day. Hello?
Yo, you need to eat meat to raise your testosterone levels.
My testosterone is just fine.
Yeah, you need to eat beef so it goes up.
Your entire mythology is guaranteed to be false and nonsense. So do you have an actual argument for us today, or you're just going to run away?
Yes, the resurrection of Christ is a fact.
Okay. Where is the evidence for the resurrection?
I don't think so. Shit, my bad. I was talking to someone. Okay, so there's so many documents. Even without the gospel, you can still have a full story of the New Testament.
Okay, but we don't care about stories. We care about facts, right? So what's the evidence that demonstrates that your magic man became a zombie for a weekend?
A massive split between the Jewish faith in the first century. A massive split. Yes. A massive split in the Jewish faith.
Because people
What
started
caused that?
believing. So you're saying that because some people were so convicted in their belief, it must have been true.
And also, you had that St. Augustine in 41 AD was able to track back who wrote the original Bibles. And Matthew wrote Matthew, John wrote John, Luke wrote Luke, Mark wrote Mark, and it was written in Aramaic.
Okay, great. So can you show us that Jesus resurrected, and this must be the case because people believed it?
I just told you, St. Augustine was able to prove to us that the Bible was never corrupted, and Matthew, apostolic procession, he traced it all back, which is easier.
From where? From what? From where? What do you mean?
From 41 AD.
41 AD?
481.
That was 4 centuries after Jesus died.
Yeah, so he was able to trace it back, and it traced back to Matthew.
So the Gospels are 4 centuries old after Jesus died.
No.
And you're saying that that's reliable to you?
They're all before 100 AD.
The Gospels were written, the earliest testaments are about 40 to 50 AD. Or I'm sorry, 90 AD. You're talking decades after Jesus died.
No, they were finalized. Yeah, they were finalized, but there's different drafts.
The earliest drafts are from 90 AD, which is decades after Jesus died. That is not reliable.
Yeah,
You have a story.
There's different drafts. There's different drafts.
When was the earliest draft of the Gospels?
We don't know that, but we know that there's different drafts.
So then,
and
how
we know,
can
and
you say they're reliable?
Because St. Augustine was able to do apostolic recession and trace it back to know that Matthew wrote Matthew and John wrote John.
How would he know that Matthew wrote Matthew?
Apostolic recession.
How does he do that?
Do you trace it back, kind of like an FBI case?
Trace it back to what? To who?
To Matthew.
How?
Matthew writing Matthew.
Matthew who?
Matthew, disciple of Christ.
Christ. And how did he know that it was actually him that wrote it?
And it was an Aramaic. He found that it was an Aramaic because he traced it back, just like when the FBI, FBI is trying to find out who did something.
Look, how do you know that this person wrote the Gospels and was true in what they said? Because even if you have somebody that wrote the Bible or the Gospels and we know their name, does that make it true?
No,
we know who Cat in the Hat wrote, or who Dr. Seuss wrote, Cat in the Hat, right? Does that make Seuss wrote it?
No, sir. It's different.
Then why do you think that the Gospels are accurate when it talks about all kinds of nonsense?
Because we know Matthew wrote Matthew. We know that they're uncorrupted. Now,
how do you know these things?
Because St. Augustine was able to trace it back through apostolic recession, which you keep projecting. Because
then
you're putting this what you're doing. Like
Augustine, look, how did St.
most
Augustine
atheists
verify
do this? You're putting evidence as secondary. That's what all atheists do. You're putting the claim as secondary.
Sir, how did St. Augustine verify that Matthew wrote the Gospels?
I just told you, apostolic recession.
And what's that mean?
He was able to trace back history of the Bible, just like
how did he trace it back to Matthew? What was the method?
Just like when the FBI is trying to find out who did something.
I know how the FBI works, sir.
That's what he did.
I know the FBI, how exactly St. Augustine did it. Because he's not the FBI.
No, he just traced it back.
From what? From what source? And how? And what? How did he verify that it's accurate?
He kept going back and back and back. Like.
Okay. Have a good day.
Oh no! But shit! Wait. Hold
I'm sorry, guys. Just what a day.
Mike.
Oh hell no! Go away.
What did I do?
Everybody, please subscribe to the YouTube.
Hello.
Hi. How
My
can I help
question
you?
is, if we weren't supposed to eat meat, why do we have canine teeth? Like how?
Yeah. So canine teeth are inherited from things like gorillas and other apes that used our canines for defense, for showing people, for things like that.
No, actually, they were originally for ripping through meat.
No,
Just like a
gorillas
dog's canines are meant for
Sir,
putting holes in the meat and draining it of the blood.
Let me respond. Gorillas have larger canines than we do, but they're herbivores. Why? Because it doesn't.
Gorillas
Just
aren't
because
strictly herbivores.
Hold on, sir.
Therefore, they are omnivores. Just like we are.
No. Mountain gorillas are herbivorous. They don't eat meat at all.
They eat bugs. That's a meat.
But no, they don't eat bugs.
Yes, they do. They literally
herbivorous
pick
animals.
bugs off each other and eat them. They pick off the lice and eat them. How is that not?
Sir,
Yes.
You don't need canines to eat a bug. Okay. Canines have many different inherited from our past. But more importantly here, just because we have canines doesn't mean we have to kill people and eat other people or other beings. There's no reason to eat anybody just because we have canines.
Okay, and another question I have is, if you believe an embryo isn't a living organism, why don't you eat eggs?
Because the egg came from somebody's body, right? And just like off the table by a person, I would never just go up to the person and go, "Let me drink your breast milk." Like that came from somebody else's body. I'm not gonna take it away from them. I'm gonna respect their body. But also, eggs contribute a lot to the death of many chicks. A lot of farmers grind up chicks alive for eggs. Also, egg production causes hens to become nutritionally deficient in weight, and in the process of producing eggs is, I think, very harmful for many hens and chickens.
It's natural for them to lay eggs. They lay eggs naturally, 3 eggs a day or more.
Right.
Naturally.
But now, in factory farms, we cause them to grow, 200 eggs a year, right? So we're causing so many more eggs for them to be produced, and it's very harmful for their bodies. Okay.
But honestly, I'm going to stop eating meat because honestly, I know vegans are actually causing more harm to the earth because we're pesticides. I've worked on a slaughter farm. I've worked on a regular farm.
Okay, I understand.
The pesticides alone kill
Okay.
over 10 rodents a day, and I have to
Okay,
actually clean out our
great.
irrigation.
And what percent of crops around the world are grown for humans?
About 60%.
Nope,
Because
about 25.
we've actually had
No,
to
about
increase
25%.
it because the
No,
vegan
no,
population has increased.
sir, about 25% of all crops in the world are actually grown for human consumption. So most crops and most pesticides are actually used for animal farming. So you're actually causing way more harm than any vegan is. Pesticides are actually justified because we have to eat food. We have to use pesticides to grow food, or else
No,
we
you
don't.
don't.
Well, to mass produce food that we do in the way we do, yes, we need pesticides.
The
Now,
only
I agree.
reason we use pesticides is actually to keep the plants in produce in stores, so it has a higher
Yes,
shelf life.
exactly. To mass produce the amount of produce we do, we have to use pesticides in the current system. I agree. We have to do it in the modern day. Now, I advocate for better methods. You're not. You're advocating for torturing animals.
We do
right?
not
You're
torture in a
advocating for more
slaughterhouse.
pesticide usage.
We literally do
What?
not torture animals. We literally bring them in one at a time, and we put a bolt to the back of their head. They feel no pain at that point.
Okay, if I took you in the back of the head and I bolted you in the head, would that be okay?
I'm not meant for consumption.
Great. So then why is it okay to shoot animals in the head but not humans? What's the difference?
Because animals are actually bred for consumption and for tilling. Originally, cows and bulls were bred to till and produce butter and milk, and
Okay.
eventually we used them for meats and stuff like
Okay,
that.
great.
Further
So
in history,
if we bred people for their milk and for their body,
that's what our government's
parts,
trying to do.
no, hold on.
That's exactly what our government's trying to do by getting rid of the
Sir,
right to
can you
have
just
abortion.
listen? Can you listen to the logic real quick? So, if we bred people for their meat and for their milk, would it be okay to harvest people for food?
No, because that would be cannibalism.
Okay, great. So you think it's okay to harvest people, but why is it okay to harvest animals? What's the difference?
Exactly. I don't know who his name is, but he has the. We're not cannibals. Exactly.
But I agree we're not cannibals, sir. But the point is that you're saying it's wrong to kill humans for food, but okay to kill animals for food. I don't see a morally relevant difference there. Animals, they don't have to die. So what gives you the justification for
To
killing
stop
animals?
overpopulation. That's why hunting has certain seasons, so we don't overpopulate deer or overpopulate bears or overpopulate other animals.
But where do you think this overpopulate? Where do you think all these animals come from that we're killing?
They are literally being bred for that reason. But
Exactly.
it's
You're sir, you're the one
and that's why
causing the
we're giving growth hormones and everything else to these animals so they grow
Sir,
faster.
can you listen? Can you listen, please? You are the one causing overpopulation by breeding these animals into existence, right? It's your fault. The overpopulation is
I'm
your
not
fault.
growing deer. I'm not growing elk or bears.
okay.
They grow on their own and overpopulate on their own.
Do you agree
Just
that
like
you're
human society is overpopulated.
Okay, great. Do you agree that you're breeding cows into existence?
Personally do not work on a farm, but no, I don't believe that we're I get that we're breeding it because the population of Earth has gone higher with
Okay, come back when your echo is done. The point is that there's no morally relevant difference between cows and people that I think justifies killing cows.
What's up? What's up? All right, so I got a question. You're saying evolution is fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so wouldn't you agree that evolution has led us to benefit from consumption of meat?
In our past, perhaps, but not anymore. We're no longer cavemen. We no longer have to eat meat to be healthy or happy.
Okay, but so would you say that the morality changed?
Morality always changes for the better, and that's the entire point of morality. We're getting better, improving, and as far as I know today, there's no need to eat animals or harm them. We can be perfectly happy as vegans.
Okay, so what about certain cultures that maybe wouldn't have access to purely vegan processed or grown produce?
Okay, well, if you're in an isolated tribe where you have to eat meat, that's understandable. But it can be vegan. Being vegan is not a diet. It's an ethical stance against cruelty. As long as you recognize that you want to minimize cruelty, you can be vegan. But more importantly, this argument only applies to maybe a few select people on the planet. We're talking about the majority of us who can be vegan. They should be vegan for sure.
Okay. So then, how would you suggest that somebody meet, like, what is it, recommended 2,500 daily calorie? Now, when you compare the cost to doing that with a vegan diet versus a carnivorous or omnivorous diet, wouldn't you say that some people financially could not afford to consume that many calories on a vegan diet?
No, I think it's the opposite, actually. I think that vegan diets have been shown to be more affordable. In fact, lentils, pastas, beans, rices are some of the cheapest foods on the planet you can perhaps buy, and they're very efficient for our bodies. There's no reason to eat meat. In fact, meat is perhaps one of the most expensive foods on the planet. If it wasn't so subsidized, it would be by far way more expensive.
Well,
So I think
it's
that
more expensive because it's more calorie dense, right? So like if I
no,
ate
it's
if I ate
no,
100 grams of beef versus 100 grams of rice, which one do you think is going to cost me, or calorically
yeah,
satiate me?
that's a false comparison. And more like you should compare beans and chickpeas. Those things are super packed with proteins. I mean, for example, black beans have about 14 grams of protein per cup. Lentils have about 19 grams of protein per cup. I mean, that's a lot of calories in one cup, which is comparable to any meat product, if not better. So I would say that lentils which are very cheap, are a great staple food for people who are very, very not rich. Uh, so yeah, I think that studies actually show. In fact, here's one from the Lancet, the journal. It shows that vegan diets are actually 30% more affordable than average diets.
Yeah, I tried it, but I go to the gym, I lift, and to try to hit the protein goals as well as the amount of calories required, dude, you had to eat so much food in order to reach that, and it got
That's
really
because
expensive versus me going out there. Go ahead.
no, that's probably because you probably didn't eat those foods that I just mentioned, right? I know many bodybuilders who are vegan. There's one in the comment section right now. He's literally a power lifter, and he's vegan. He gets things very easily. So as long as you're getting the right diet, as long as you know what you're eating, you're going to be perfectly fine as a vegan.
Shoot, hey, if
Peanut
you're in
butter.
the comments in there, send me an inbox on what you've been eating, because I would
Sure.
like to see that as far as the financial side of it as well. But all right, I
Sure.
gotta
His
go
name
into
is
work. Yeah, I gotta go into work. I agree, but I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if you're mad or not. I just care that the arguments are shown and that you give a counter and you're honest. That's all I care about. I don't care if you like me or hate me. I just care if we're getting somewhere. Stop making people try vegan. Let them be what they want to be. I'm not forcing you to be vegan. You chose to be here on this live. How am I forcing you to be vegan? I'm not. I'm just simply saying, hey, maybe it's better, right? Maybe it's better. And it is. There's good arguments for it. There's no argument in favor of killing and slaughtering animals.
Yo.
Hi.
All right, so God is imaginary according to you, but I'm just wondering before I even get into that, like what kind of evidence or like what would you be looking for to even convince you that?
Any evidence would do.
What?
Any evidence for God.
So what about, I guess, the complexity of the world and how everything is sort of in order?
Well, when we look at complexity around the world, we look at stars and planetary systems and nebula clouds and life and Earth, those have mechanisms behind them. We know why they're complex.
Mhm.
Gravity is one of the reasons, angular momentum, conservation momentum. There are mechanisms, physical mechanisms that allow us to understand the complexities of and never have to invoke a magic man. By the way, when you say that there is a magic man who made us, well, isn't that magic man complex? Isn't he conscious and aware in all the traits that we have that you think we're complex for? Well, if that's the case, then you're just kicking the can down the road, and now you have to explain the complexity of the creator. Why is the creator complex? And if you're going to
Mhm.
say he always was, we can say that for the universe.
Yeah, that's true, but then at the same time, it's like, I don't know, for me, I feel like, to believe that all of this just came out by chance, doesn't that also seem just as hard to believe as, a higher power putting everything into place?
Why? What are the chances of God existing and putting this in place?
I mean, if we go by this logic, I'd say it's pretty much the same amount of chances God existing as everything just being sort of random.
Right. So you have no credence towards a God. I mean, we can't even assess the likelihood of God existing. I mean, do we have an example of a God existing? No. How do we even assess the probability of God if we have no data to go by? All we have is one universe. And for that, we only have one subject. And if that's the case, the chance of us being here could be 100%. It might be that we are necessary. So there's even no reason to invoke chance. Maybe we're necessary.
Yeah. Well, that's honestly all I got. I was just wondering. And I do make good points and everything, so.
Yeah, keep learning. I mean, that's why I'm here. I'm not here to say that you're wrong. I'm here to say that, hey, there are good arguments on the other side that we should be exposed to. And let's start thinking more about these things, right? Let's start thinking more about these topics. I mean, they're big topics that can help people around the world and make the world a better place. I mean, how could you be against veganism in principle? It makes no sense. How could you be against compassion? How can you be against critical thinking? You know? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hi,
So,
how are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
Good.
So, I am obviously a meat eater. So, there's lots of things that you've got to take into consideration. So, when we farm our animals, right, you can choose how much they suffer. So, you can either, there's some studies which show that some farmers put them in gas chambers or they use a bolt to the head. Whereas, for example, when you're growing rice in the rice fields, which you advocate so much for people to go and eat, you have farmers that shoot ducks that are in the sky that are flying or just sat there. Whether to shoot it in the head or shoot it in the body, if it's flying, it's got to go purely off, I need to hit this duck, right? So you're inevitably causing more animals to suffer by being vegan than you are by not being vegan.
No, because most grains, whole grains, including rices, are actually grown for animals, not for humans. Humans eat a vastly small portion of all the crops we grow around the world. But more importantly, protecting crops. I think veganism entails some death. I mean, something has to die for us to survive. The problem is that you are maximizing harm by torturing these animals in gas chambers and bolting them in the head, Whereas you can avoid all that, 90 billion deaths plus trillions of fish, you can avoid all that by simply going vegan. Vegans would need less land and less crops to feed everybody.
Animals are killed. Why not eat them? Why not use them? Don't they then just die in vain?
What are you talking about? What animals die?
Okay, so when the farmer shoots the duck that's at the rice fields, and we're all vegan, we're not going to touch that duck, right? We're going to leave it. So it's going to go to waste.
Well, if somebody died in the streets, would you eat their body?
No, but that's a different retrospective.
Humans. Why is it different? But why is it different? There's no difference between us and the animals. I think.
Okay, what's the difference between the animals and the plants then?
Plants are not sentient.
And how are they not sentient? Please explain.
They don't have brains, nervous systems, or pain receptors.
They do actually.
Oh, really? They have brains? They have nervous
systems?
systems?
Their nuclei is their brain. It contains all the DNA which requires them to do what they need to do. They have a nervous system which is based on chemical reactions.
Hold on. You said their DNA is brain? Is their brain?
I said their nuclei.
Where's their brain?
Their nuclei is their brain. Their nuclei is their brain.
Do you know what a brain is? A brain is a structure full of a network of neurons.
Yes,
it's
which tells the things what to do. Right? So, for example, when the nuclei contains it tells the plant cells what it needs to do. So then when a bee comes down... Can you please not interrupt me? Because you want...
You're not listening to what I'm saying. The software in my phone tells my phone what to do, but my phone is not sentient. Just because something responds to stimuli does not make it sentient. So again, show me where emotion is, where the prefrontal cortex is, where the decision making is, where
if you let me finish
is in the plant. Plants have no ability to feel or emote in any way.
If you let me finish instead of cutting me off, because I actually personally conducted a study on this. We used decibel meters and we cut up a plant and it actually produced supersonic noise. Therefore, it feels pain. It has a nervous system the same way that we do through chemical reactions.
No, it does not. It does not. Okay, so give me one study that demonstrates plants have a central nervous system.
Okay, so a bee lands on a flower petal. That flower. No. You want the study, right?
No.
Right? This is basic science. Let's go to basic science. Don't cut me off, right? Don't cut me off.
Sir. Give me one source that demonstrates plants have a central nervous system.
Okay, so when you were a child and you were in school, what did you learn about?
No. Do this. You're going to give me a source or go away. Number one. Number two, your point is moot. Because guess what? Even if plants were sentient, veganism's still better because vegans kill less plants.
That's why we eat both.
So your argument is moot even if it's correct, which it's not correct. So go ahead and demonstrate that plants are sentient in any way.
Would I be allowed to explain the whole thing now, or are you...
No. Nonsense.
Give me your source then, where it says the plants aren't sentient.
Right? The source is called Debunking the Myth of Plant Consciousness. Do you want the actual? That's what the study's called. Go look it up. It debunks your points. It shows you that although plants do produce electrochemical signals, that does not correlate to anything remotely analogous to human. They are not capable of feeling pain at all.
So you're telling me that the experiment I personally conducted in a lab in a controlled environment is fake, is false?
Is it peer reviewed? Is it repeatable? Is it testable? Don't just say you did a study. Where is it? Is it
I didn't say I did a study. I said I did an experiment.
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but doing one experiment is not a study. It could be mistaken. There could be an error there. We don't know what what experiment was. Give me a peer-reviewed source or go away.
Why is it the go away though? Why is it always the go away?
Because if you don't, because you're wasting our time otherwise.
It's like, oh, well, if you can't type study, then go away.
Because you're wasting our time otherwise.
But we're not.
Like you are right now.
I'm advocating science. Examined myself.
Then this is your last chance to give a scientific study.
I'm not going to give a scientific study.
Okay. Next. You're wasting our time otherwise. I want data. I don't want to waste my time. I want data.
Yes, hello. Yeah, so is the vegan part. I want to know. It is so if God is imaginary and so on, and we should go vegan and so on, right? Why do animals eat other animals then?
Necessity. They have to survive. We have stores. We can choose to eat plants instead.
Good, right? Good. So I just see couple like Rastaman and thing them is only eat certain stuff, them is stay away from meat and them thing, right? So after a time the man is get fine, the man is they're weak. If then go inside, uh, the man could easily.
We have options, guys. With options come choices. Choices come with responsibility.
Hey, how's it going there? You and I talked one time, and
Hi, how are you? No, plants don't feel pain. They don't have pain receptors. They're not conscious at all. Why would you even think plants are conscious or sentient when they have no ability, no reason for them to feel pain? The reason why we have pain is because we have to run away or move out of the way. A plant can't move. It doesn't move out of the way in case a predator comes. It has no reason to feel pain.
You look like a betting player. What? You sound like the word on top.
No, veganism does not appeal to an objective moral standard. No, not at all. You don't need objectivity for morals. You definitely don't need a god for morals.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi there.
What do you got?
Um, I am agnostic, and but I do question our reality about. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm agnostic. I do question our reality, but I do believe the Bible is human made. I do believe in evolution, and all that. But what's your thoughts on string theory? About how there's a possibility that there's multiple dimensions? What's your thoughts on that?
Guys in TikTok. Their servers are bad.
Can you hear me?
Yep. What do you got?
Yeah, I love your content and just thank you for this space to discuss. So my question is, if there is no God, how did the universe come about?
It didn't necessarily come about. It could have always existed. Or if it did, it could have been a quantum fluctuation or some kind of deeper quantum mechanical thing.
Right, but we know that science is saying there must have been an absolute beginning for the universe.
No, what science says that?
Big Bang Theory, for one. There must.
No, that's incorrect. The Big Bang does not say there has to be an absolute beginning. That's absolutely not what the Big Bang says.
Tell me what your understanding of the Big Bang is.
Merely the expansion of a pre-existing space-time.
That goes back to a particular singular point, right?
No, it doesn't. There's no one point. See, that was the idea like decades ago. They call it a singularity, but that's no longer what scientists are adhering to. It doesn't make any sense. We now think that there's a quantum mechanical reason why the universe has inflated. It's called inflationary cosmology. That's the most adhered to model. Everything began. That's no longer. But I mean, it's possible, but there's no evidence that that must be the case.
Okay. Well, I don't want to, go push further because I haven't looked into that. So, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Respect the honesty. Keep learning. Good. It's good to learn.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yep. What do you got?
Hope you're doing well. So, I have a question. I am an ex-Christian, but I want you to kind of like have your opinions. So, do you believe in like the Holy Trinity? You know, when
No.
you don't? Okay. So, like, why is atheism good? Like, why do you think it exists? I'm trying to see why. I'm trying. My bad. Because is because that faith.
I might have to restart the live, guys, because TikTok servers are terrible. Is it freezing for you guys? A lot of you guys are saying yeah. It's not my connection. Stop saying it's my Wi-Fi. It's TikTok. They do this every day. They stink. They suck. Let me restart it, guys. But please follow me so you can come back quickly. So go ahead, follow me right now. Stay tuned. I'll be right back in 2 seconds. Restarting helps for sure.